gotta take back the street. From the French Quarter vibes to the Ninth Ward grind, he's the voice of the people, yo, he's one of a kind. Talking about the struggle, the hustle, the pain, but with each word he drops, he's bringing power to the game. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Try to silence the truth, but he's loud and clear. From the bayou to the block, everyone can hear. Got the people united, it's a movement, no doubt. With his mic in hand, he's breaking all the clout. City eat the official scheming, yeah, they playing it slick. But Gerod's on the line and he's ready to kick. For the schools and the streets, he's fighting the fight. With a heart full of passion, he's igniting the night. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. From the jazz in the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerod on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. In the streets to the gumbo pot, he's the pulse of the city, giving all he's got. Together we rise, united we stand. With Gerod on the radio, we're taking back our land. So tune in, y'all, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, tuning out, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it real, keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Gerod on the radio, calling out the lies, bringing light to the dark, keeping hope in our eyes. He's the voice of the people, making changes unfold. In the city of NOLA, we're reclaiming our soul. Yeah, let the truth resonate. With Gerod on the mic, we're rewriting our fate. In New Orleans, the power is ours to embrace. Keep it loud, let's uplift this place. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We up in here. It's Friday, y'all. Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday. Because I just don't know if they had more days of this week, I don't think I'd be able to handle it.
Can I introduce you?
Yeah, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, the other voice that you hear other than mine is the attorney extraordinaire. Who? Attorney Suzanne Bagnaris is in the building. I'm going to sit back in the corner, and I don't even know why I'm here today, because I ain't going to really have a chance to talk. For those of you that don't know, today was the Chad Cockerham hearing through the police department and civil service. And it started at what, 9 o'clock this morning?
Yes, it did.
We got out at 3. That's how long it went on.
And it was recessed, not concluded.
Right.
Recessed.
And there's got to be another one, more than likely in July. So that's my information because sitting second chair through the civil service information that came out, and I was glad to see people came out to support Chad. I was really glad to see people that came out to support Chad. Chad's a good guy. You know, I came because I wanted to hear, because we've been hearing this information that was coming out and what he did and what he didn't do. And we've been hearing this for months now. I mean, it's been over a year, just absolutely going on 2. So what we saw today is a good question and how you describe it. Now, y'all know I'm ignorant. So I would rather the attorney kind of conclude in what she saw today, because this was not the normal hearing. This was a civil service hearing, which is different from what you practice as far as a lawyer, correct?
Yes. I mean, I gotta say, today's situation just made my nerves bad. As a civil and criminal trial attorney, litigation attorney, being in a civil service hearing where the rules of evidence are more relaxed in that tribunal is a little bit difficult to accept. In administrative and civil service hearings, the rules of evidence are generally relaxed compared to a criminal or traditional civil jury trial. But, and this is the critical part, relaxed does not mean non-existent. And it does not eliminate constitutional due process protections, or at least it should not. And that distinction matters enormously in Chad Cockerham's case. Most administrative tribunals, including civil service commissions, are not strictly bound by the Louisiana Code of Evidence in the same way a district court jury trial would be. Hearing officers are often allow hearsay evidence, which is not allowed in my normal day-to-day.
Hearsay.
Right, hearsay, summaries of evidence. Investigative reports are typically allowed into evidence in an administrative hearing, but we were told today they were not going to be when Chad's attorney wanted to introduce them. But then when the city's attorney said they wanted to introduce them, then the court said, okay, well, I'll let them in.
Right.
Unofficial records are allowed in a hearing, and broader testimony is allowed in an administrative hearing. In I guess in general, or in summary, you could say administrative hearings are intended to be more flexible and efficient. But even with relaxed rules of evidence, due process still applies, and you need to allow litigants an opportunity to put on their case without interference. You need to allow the attorneys for both sides to be able to ask meaningful questions of the witnesses and not be limited by the hearing officer's admonition that they could not ask certain questions or go down certain roads that, in my opinion, were clearly relevant.
Right.
You're not supposed to ambush your opponents with documents that have never been produced,
Which happened
prior to the hearing, as did occur here today.
Right.
You know,
that's a part of discovery,
it's
correct?
a part of meaningful discovery. And I have to say, Chad's attorneys did file all the Freedom of Information Act requests and, to the city attorney's office in order to get all of the documents in advance of the hearing. It wasn't a question of not asking for the documents. They clearly asked for the documents, but even
evidently they didn't get
they
provided.
did not get provided the documents. Right. And there were some misrepresentations, material misrepresentations about several of the documents. I'm going to give you an example. There was a spreadsheet that was introduced during the testimony of Mr. Petro.
Number 4.
I'm about to tell you which exhibit it was, but there was this spreadsheet.
It was exhibit number 4.
That they claim was produced. And when I say they, I'm going to be very clear that Mr. Petro claimed.
And Mr. Petro is the OIG's assistant.
Yes, that he argued, he said, was produced by his office in the ordinary course of business. He stated that his office put that spreadsheet together, and it was supposed to be tracking the IP addresses of where the complaint came from that he believed linked Officer Detective Cockerham to the anonymous complaint regarding the cheating allegation. However, later during the hearing,
Now, this is the same hearing.
during the same hearing, it was discovered that the document was not produced by Mr. Petro's office.
Right.
That the document came from another company.
A third party.
A third-party company.
IT company.
IT company, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you would think that would be the end of the inquiry. No, it's not. Because Detective Cockerham searched the metadata of the spreadsheet that he was provided and recognized that the metadata showed that it was not created by the person, by the agency. They said created it, or on the date they said created it, and that the document that was sent to him and stated not to be a new document, and the document that was introduced at the beginning of this hearing and said to be an OIG document
was not
the same document.
And it was new. That document had been created in April.
Correct.
And they said that it was not a new document. Not only did Chad Cockerham, who was a great witness, speak about that, he understood metadata. So you had Ken Petro, who works for the OIG's office, who's basically, his whole case was, I found the metadata, and this is what the metadata was telling us that you did, and da-da-da-da-da. And then when he was crossed by the attorney, we basically found out that Ken Petro from the OIG's office doesn't know anything about metadata.
He ended up admitting when he was handed a document that Chad Cockerham produced,
right,
where he took a document provided to him. As a matter of fact, it was a document created by Mr. Petro. He took that document and he searched its metadata. And what he was able to prove from his search of the metadata was that the document was not created on the date that Mr. Petro said the document was created. Indeed, it was created some 4 months later.
And by a different outside source. And Mr. Cockerham, who does this for a living, basically asked what this document was created, when this document was created, and also name the person that created the document.
Well, we're talking about two different documents, G, so let's be very clear.
Okay, all right.
So the document that Chad Cockerham had done, the first document that he did metadata research on was the memorandum of interview. And he searched the memorandum of interviews metadata, and what he was able to prove that, first of all, it had material mistakes in the document itself. It said that the interview took place on January 27th of 2025.
And it did not.
Detective Cockerham produced his phone records from Verizon showing that the conversation took place on January 29th, 2025. So there was an error in Ken Petro's memorandum of interview. Then he was able to prove through the metadata that the memorandum of interview, although he said he did it on the same day, January 27th, 2025, which we know now to be the wrong date. So it would have had to have been done if he was telling the truth on January 29th, 2025, was not done then. It was made in April of 2025. And we know it's not policy to produce documents after the fact. So they're not looking very genuine with respect to the evidence that they are presenting with respect to Detective Cockerham. Now, there's a second document, which was a spreadsheet, and Mr. Petro said that that spreadsheet was produced by his office in the ordinary course of business. But when another witness, Stella,
Stella is the independent police monitor.
When Stella testified, she said, no, that's not actually our document. It was created by ProTech, and ProTech gives it to us, maintains our database, and gives us the documents in a way that, the spreadsheets can be generated. But then she held out that that exhibit was a document that would have been from the OIPM created by ProTech, But come to find out, by the end of the hearing, Mr. Cockerham had done the metadata research on that document and proved that the spreadsheet itself is not the same document that the city attorney, Elizabeth Robbins, had given his attorney in discovery, and stated in the body of the email that when she was producing the document to him, it was not a new document when actually it was.
I got to tell you, I sat there with my mouth wide open. If a fly had been flying around in the room, he would have been in trouble. So you about to jump out your seat.
Well, yes, because you have allowed the introduction into evidence of a spreadsheet on the basis that it is an authentic business record of the OIG's office.
And these are the reasons why it is imperative that folks start going to these court hearings, going to these hearings, whether it's civil service or just regular civil court. This is the reason why you need to be going, so that you can see how somebody ain't telling the truth.
Look, in order to get a document into evidence, the person who is trying to discuss the document needs to be able to lay a foundation for the document to be introduced into evidence. And that foundation in this particular instance was them representing that the spreadsheet was a business record routinely maintained in the course of business by the OIG's office. That was the very basis for getting the document in. And this is the document that the superintendent said she relied upon in terminating Detective Cockerham, the very document.
He was being incredulous.
And then we find out later that the document is not a business record. Therefore, it never should have been admitted into evidence, and it's unreliable.
Yep. All right, we'll take a break here. We'll also take some of your telephone calls. Y'all need to really get involved in this one. 504-582-9422. We got a whole lot more to share with this case. This was a BO. We just going to call this SS Friday. Don't ask me what it is. I can't tell you on the radio. You can put it together.
Second word, show.
So, yeah. Second word. More coming up, y'all. Everybody will tell you.
New Orleans never sleeps, and neither does WBOK. Now, every voice, every moment, and every show is in your pocket. Search WBOK Media wherever you get podcasts. Download, share, rate us 5 stars. Because when you support us, you amplify Black voices and the New Orleans culture.
Looking for a great deal on your next phone? Come see us at your locally owned AT&T store for the latest Samsung and iPhones. Visit us at 3616 South Carrollton Avenue. We have great offers on watches, tablets, accessories, and internet service. Whatever your connectivity needs are, our team is here to help you keep connected. Visit us today at AT&T, 3616 South Carrollton Avenue. Locally owned and proudly giving back to the community.
Step back in time and experience the moments that shaped our world at the National World War II Museum, located in the heart of the Warehouse District in New Orleans. This world-renowned museum brings history to life, telling America's story in the war that changed everything, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. From immersive exhibits to powerful personal stories, this is more than a museum. It's an experience. Plan your visit today at nationalww2museum.org. World War II Museum, where history lives.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Our number 504-582-9422 in the building. Yes, she is here. The attorney extraordinaire, Suzette Bagnaris.
So I want to address, Misty Jones just asked a question online, and I want to answer her question. No, the spreadsheet did not have a Bates stamp on it, a number identifying it as being produced by the Office of the Independent Police Monitor or the OIG. And no, the document did not have a header on it, any kind of title. And no, it did not come with a subpoena or a response to a records request or anything that would have authenticated that document as being a document that would have been maintained in the ordinary course of business by the OIG's office or the Office of the Independent Police Monitor, which made me ask the lawyer to ask the question, who created the document, and is it an ordinary business record kept in your ordinary and routine daily course of business?
Right.
When the question was asked of Stella, she stopped right in her tracks.
You would have thought that she fell out the chair.
She was very hesitant to answer the question, and what she ended up saying is, no, I did not create it. And then the next answer was, no, nobody in my office created it.
Yep.
It was created by ProTech, and they are a third-party contractor of the Office of the Independent Police Monitor. Now, that's not what had been misrepresented to the hearing officer by the prior witness, who was Kenneth Petro. Kenneth Petro said, yes, we created it.
Yep.
It's our document. I relied upon it, and it is an ordinary business record of my office, and that is why the hearing officer had initially admitted it based upon his testimony authenticating the document as a business record of his office, when we later find out it was not.
It looked like it was just straight up, he was straight up lying.
Right, and
This was perjury.
Right, and then a few hours later, it comes out through Detective Cockerham's testimony that he received a spreadsheet via email, he and his attorney, from Elizabeth Robbins, who is an attorney with the city attorney's office. And in the body of the email, she's enclosing the spreadsheet, and she expressly says in all caps, "This is not a new document," which made Detective Cockerham question whether it was a new document. So he ran the metadata on the document and then discovered that the document that was introduced into evidence as the exhibit, the spreadsheet, is not the same document that she sent him in an email, and that when he ran the metadata, it had been created by a Matthew Seacrest
In April.
who had nothing to do with the investigation
At all. We don't even know what his title is. What he does, we've never met him. He never came in the door.
And he wasn't in court to authenticate the document.
At all.
So ProTech wasn't there to authenticate the document. The generator of the first document was not present in court to authenticate the document.
We're going by your word.
We're going just by y'all word, and you're not looking very credible right now at all.
This whole issue started at 9 o'clock this morning, and we got out at 3. The majority of us that was sitting on one side of the room, we were basically sitting there with our mouths wide open and listening to the BS that was coming. I can call it BS. I'm not an attorney. But I wanted to make sure that we understood that these are the reasons why you always, when somebody said you did something or they're doing something, how do you sit there and you're supposed to be the protector of the people? And from what we're seeing, you're the worst thing that could happen to the people, because you're trying to screw this young man and set him up so that he'll lose his job, never be able to get another job in law enforcement anywhere, because of the fact that this word untruthfulness may not mean as much to the average person, but from a law enforcement standard, you get a cause of untruthfulness, you might as well kiss your career goodbye.
Now, I'm going to put this in layman's terms as best as I can.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go home and you walk into your house, your phone, your computer, your watch, all of your devices realize you're home and connect to the Wi-Fi in your house, which all is under one IP address, because the IP address in homes, offices, and many organizations may have multiple devices that connect through one router.
Right.
And the router is assigned the public IP address by the internet provider. So, if you come to my house and I give you my Wi-Fi password,
Right.
then you can log on to my router today to use the internet. And if you come back to my house 6 months from now and I haven't changed the password, you can use it again.
Right.
Right?
Because we connected.
Right. And, sometimes when I go to log on to my Wi-Fi at my house, because I'm leaving my office and now I'm connecting to the one at my house, sometimes my neighbor's Wi-Fi pops up. A few of my neighbor's Wi-Fis pop up. And if they wanted to let me have access, I could have access. And if I wanted to use it, if I had used it in the past, I might automatically log on to their Wi-Fi. And I got to change it to my own. I need everybody to understand that. Because the premise that NOPD operated under was that an IP address is connected to a specific computer.
Say that again. Now, that's important.
This is the false premise that the NOPD operated under. They thought that an IP address is linked to a specific computer and not to a router.
Right.
They didn't understand that distinction at the beginning of this hearing. So they kept saying that the IP address was linked to Miss Detective Cockerham's computer.
Yeah, not his router.
That is a false statement.
So your kids, people that come to visit you, your wife, anybody comes to your house can be connected to your router.
Correct. So,
at one time.
Right. So look, I've had so many kids in and out of my house with my 3 daughters, right? And when they come over to my house, I even have a little thing on my bar that says what the Wi-Fi password is for the convenience of my guests.
Right.
And when people come and they stay over at my house, I have a little placard in every bedroom that says what the Wi-Fi password is for the convenience of my guests. Now, if they come back and visit me 6 months from now and I haven't changed that password, they don't even need to worry about logging back on. They're going to automatically connect, right? So what they didn't seem to understand is in homes, offices, and many organizations, multiple devices owned by multiple people can connect through one router and work off an IP address by the internet provider. Now, when you send a subpoena to the internet provider and you're asking who is the owner of this account, they're going to give you whoever the bill comes in the name of, whoever's the account holder on the bill. But that doesn't mean that that account holder is the person who sent the complaint. It means that account holder, that router, services all of the devices that have ever been inside of that man's home. So investigators trace an IP address. They can trace it to a location. They can trace it to a Wi-Fi network. They can trace it to a business, an internet account, but they cannot automatically trace it to a single device or a single person. And that was the disconnect.
I was surprised when he said, I'm talking about Ken Petro. I was surprised. I know that somebody probably looked at me and said, why is he looking that way? I was very surprised to hear that man say, we searched for IP addresses. 3 of them we couldn't find.
Right.
And when he said that, I was like, why? He said, because we found out that they belonged to libraries.
That's a whole nother issue. So there were other people who filed these anonymous complaints, okay, who filed them from public libraries. So how do you know the same person who filed them at the public library didn't come drive in front of Chad Cockerham's house and file one from outside his house using his Wi-Fi?
And then he said, we went to the libraries to find out, can we watch the security cameras?
Correct.
And I'm like, wait a minute, y'all went to the library to find out who was using the Wi-Fi? You can't. You don't know who using the lot. Wi-Fi hooks up to anybody that's used it in the past.
And look, I am sometimes at a loss searching for Wi-Fi. My phone's not working right. If I can log on to Ashna's Wi-Fi or whoever's Wi-Fi because I'm in front of their business,
Right.
I'm going to jump on for a minute to do what I got to do.
Right.
I mean, if an anonymous complaint came from an IP address associated with Detective Cockerham's house, that may only prove that somebody
Okay, Wi-Fi working.
who had ever been at or near his house
Right.
had utilized his Wi-Fi at some point. But it does not necessarily prove that it came from Chad Cockerham's specific computer, his specific phone, or Chad personally.
Did
They
you-
failed to prove that today.
Unless you went in that man's house and saw him on the computer typing that complaint. That's the only way you're going to be able to prove it.
If you go to Lakeside Shopping Center right now and you log on to Wi-Fi, you can log on as Lakeside Shopping Center guest. If you go to most restaurants, you can log on as whatever the name the restaurant is, guest.
Same thing with
Okay.
coffee shops.
Coffee shops, you name it. Starbucks. You walk into Starbucks,
Right.
you ask them, hey, what's the Wi-Fi password today? Or PJ's, what's the Wi-Fi password today? You can log on. So does that mean if I send a complaint from Starbucks that Starbucks is legally responsible?
Right. So what really got me, though, was the fact that I'm thinking, as I'm walking in, I'm thinking to myself, this is a breach of the people's rights, because what has come forth is you all have been promoting forever and a day that if you have, as a citizen, an anonymous complaint, you should go ahead on and log on and send that anonymous complaint. You won't be in any type of harm, no type of danger, nothing. You can log on and send us an anonymous complaint. So my question has been, this is an anonymous complaint. Why are you all sending a $5 million a year organization that we pay for to Chad Cockerham's house? Because they sent him up to his house in Geismar to find out if he logged a complaint. That's supposed to be anonymous in the first place. It doesn't say anonymous for some folks. I'm thinking it's supposed to be anonymous for anybody that logs in and says this is anonymous.
Well, let's talk about this anonymous complaint, because that's controversial too.
Yep.
So, in the OIG's report, there is a paragraph that references that Ann Kirkpatrick sent an email to all of the captains and other high-ranking brass at NOPD and told them to let everyone know that they're looking for people to submit an anonymous complaint or with respect to the cheating scandal. And if they submit these complaints, if they know about the cheating allegations, that they would remain anonymous and confidential. And it references that email in the OIG's report. Cockerham's attorney sent a subpoena for the email, a records request for NOPD to produce the email that Ann Kirkpatrick allegedly sent out. They replied to Cockerham's attorney there was no such email. At first, when Ann Kirkpatrick testified today, she denied sending the email. Then when she reviewed the OIG's report to refresh her recollection, she said, oh yeah, I sent the email, but I don't think I said in the email that I was going to let it be confidential.
You want me to say it right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait a minute. Hold on. So let me go back. Can I see that? But that's what she said.
That's what she said. Can I see
Can
that?
I see that? Oh yeah. So I didn't reference it to that. I don't remember. I don't recall. That's the word. I don't recall saying that this would be to everyone. I just sent it to my upper staff, my brass about this, and they said that they would do it, but I didn't reference it to anybody just being that way. No, because I really do feel that he's being incredulous. I did. I got it right.
So, did she send the email? Did she not send the email? Is there an email?
I don't think I did.
We don't know.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me.
Is this another document that you have not turned over that you have?
What are you trying to insinuate?
That she's incredulous. That's what I'm trying to say. That she's incredulous. I mean, y'all, you had to be there because the documents were a mess.
Brandon said I'm going to get casted in Wicked 3.
The documents were a mess. The documents were not what they said the documents were.
Wait a minute. What are you saying? What are you saying? I don't remember. I don't recall those documents. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't recall saying that. And I don't think that I wrote it. Did I write that? I'm just,
So then by the end of the hearing.
No, after you pulled your hair out.
By the end of the hearing, now you have the lawyers from the city changing their argument.
Right.
In the beginning, their argument was it came from the IP address, which proves it came from his computer, and he sent it. Then they started asking this question. If the IP address is not connected to his specific computer, but it's connected to his home, would that change your mind? And he could not answer. Why? Because the hearing officer told him not to, told her not to.
Say that again.
The lawyer for the city ended up saying, if the IP address turns out it is not related to Officer Cockerham's specific computer,
right,
but it is linked to his house, would that change your opinion about terminating him? And before Ann Kirkpatrick could answer, the hearing officer told her, don't answer.
Now, the other part of this is, which I had questions about. I said I was going to ask you, so I can ask you now. The hearing itself began. I'm talking about the first hearing. And what they said in that first hearing was that they were having a discussion of a not termination, but a demotion. When did that change? So how did we get from having a demotion, that's number one, to firing him, and then it then came out that he had been fired twice?
Well, I'll tell you how he got there, because Granny told you. Granny told you how she got there.
But how did you get fired twice?
This is what Granny said.
Oh, you want me to say it?
Granny said.
I said
that the recommendation was to demote him.
It was just saying we were going to demote him.
But because she felt that he was impeached.
He was impeached.
That he had lied about filing the complaint. Mm-hmm. That the appropriate discipline is removal for dishonesty.
Untruthfulness.
Because someone who is dishonest should not be allowed to be a police officer, because their credibility becomes very important, and that they would have had to allow all the defense lawyers in all of the criminal cases know where Chad was a witness that he was a liar.
He was a liar.
And that would have had Brady and Giglio implications, and therefore it was too big of a threat to keep him on the force, because he was no longer credible because he lied. But didn't we have the lawyer from D.C. tell us on this air that Ann Kirkpatrick is a liar?
Did the same
and
thing.
that he impeached her many times when she was on the stand in the case he had against her in D.C.? Well, if lying under oath is enough to disqualify someone from being a police officer, then
what happened to you?
What happened to Ann, and why is she here?
Wow, I can tell you why. It was the hookup. Who is this person questioning my integrity? Oh, we got to take a break. We got to take a break. Thank God for breaks. More coming up, y'all. Hold on.
Hello, friend. Tavis Smiley here with a special announcement. You can catch my show at a new time. Weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Same great topics, same great guests, same great conversations, just a little earlier in the day. It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
Greetings and salutations. I am Elwood B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
WBOK, online at WBOK1230.com. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. 504-582-9422. We see a lot of folks tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in and taking a listen. Phone lines are open, too. Got a question for the attorney. Ooh, Lord, get them in. 504-582-9422. Today was the hearing, the civil service hearing for Detective Chad Cockerham. I had a brain fart there for a minute. And both of us, you were sitting second seat. Me, I'm sitting in the back. But I'm listening, and I was like, oh, my God, this is a SS. Totally. So I didn't know the difference between regular law and civil service hearing. But apparently, there's some differences.
The rules of evidence are a little bit more relaxed. The testimony is allowed to be a little bit more relaxed. But the rules of evidence are still supposed to apply.
Mm-hmm.
You have to share your exhibits with your opponents. You can't ambush them. You have to authenticate documents and lay a proper foundation for them. And that was not done here today for many of these documents. And it appears that on many of these documents, the city has backdated documents, created documents after the fact, without disclosing that until today.
And you're not saying something that ain't true because it was proven. It was proven because of the fact that somebody had the knowledge and the wherewithal to go back and check metadata, go back and make sure that dates are correct. Chad Cockerham did it himself. I don't know why they just don't believe that he's a detective for real.
Oh, he was excellent. Chad Cockerham is one of the best witnesses I have ever seen testify in my 34 years as a trial attorney. He was poised. He was fact-based. He was evidence-based. His delivery was smooth. He's just such a good witness, and he knows his stuff. And he knows about metadata. He was able to explain it, whereas
to the
Ken
people that's
Petro
using
could
it
not.
against him.
Right, the people were making a case about metadata, and the rabbit had the gun. The rabbit was the one who knew more about metadata. The rabbit was the one who was able to show that they changed dates and backdated documents and created documents after the fact, utilizing the metadata of the documents that they did finally produce to him and his attorney after the first hearing before the second hearing. When I tell you, it was incredible. It was an incredible day. But I'm gonna tell you what bothers me about today. What bothers me about today is there are so many people who have litigation against the city attorney's office. that trust that the rules are going to be followed, that the documents they are provided are going to be truthful and accurate.
Right.
That the representations about where the documents came from, who created them, when they were generated, and the substance of those documents is going to be truthful and accurate.
This was
that
just
balls
basically lying.
are not going to be hidden.
This was lying in court.
This was horrible. There are ethical issues pertaining to what happened today in court. I mean, how do you send someone an email saying this is not a new document when clearly
We checked the metadata.
you check the metadata, it's a
And
new
it is
document.
a new document.
And it's
And
not
not only
from
is it a new document, it's also showing you who prepared it.
who is not the person who you said it came from.
Right.
So, I mean, there are several issues here at play which disturb me for anybody engaged in any type of litigation or claim when dealing with the city attorney's office and NOPD and the OIG. I mean, because the OIG represented that memorandum of interview was done
Through
on
the OIG.
January 27th, 2025. First of all, it's wrong. He didn't talk to him on January 27th.
He talked to him on
Chair
the 29th.
Cockerham's phone records show he spoke to him on January 29th. So let's just look past that flaw. The document itself has a substantive error in it. But then you dig deeper, and the document that's supposed to be created contemporaneously with the phone call pursuant to his sworn testimony turns out to have been created 4 months later.
Right. Yep. In April. April what? 20-something, 4th? Whatever it was. But I'd still say that if anybody came into this, and if you don't have a legal bone in your body that says, I'm a lawyer, you could have picked this one out. Anybody could have picked this one out.
But what if this poor litigant did not have the computer skills
Nobody else
or
did.
the understanding of metadata and IP addresses and routers and all of that Chair Cockerham had? Chair Cockerham knew enough to look to the properties in the document to learn its metadata. The average Joe may not have clicked on the properties to figure out the metadata to show that these records were being generated after the fact and not by the people they said had done it.
And it was proven. But evidently the ones that are saying that he did, they don't understand metadata either. It was so embarrassing to me to know that I got somebody working in a high position in the OIG's office that is trying to prove a case against a detective using metadata as his theme in this, and then asked what metadata, about metadata, and then he has to come back and say, I don't understand it. I don't know what it is. I'm not a computer professional.
After holding himself out to be one.
Right.
After saying that the whole crux of his
testimony,
his conclusion that Chair Cockerham is a liar is based upon metadata, he comes back 2 hours later and says, I don't know anything about metadata.
I don't know anything about metadata. And what he didn't know is that Chad did.
Yes, that I think was the big surprise that even made the hearing officer sit up. I really think that they didn't know that Chad's job included investigations of IP addresses and that he was intimately knowledgeable about how IP addresses are used, what they identify, and about metadata in documents and things like that. I mean, he was the expert in the room.
Yeah. I mean, it showed that they, who were trying to convict him, I use the word convict, were actually liars. Perjury, liars, whichever one you want to say, because nobody said, I object. Nobody in that room said, I object, hearsay, or any other words. He said, here is what I discovered. this is what I discovered in the metadata, that this document was created in April, and it was created by whoever the young
He
man
gave the
was.
time. He gave the
date,
location.
the person.
He knew the person. He could have told you what the person's drawers looked like. I mean, he was down to the metadata of telling you who created the document.
You can go to the drawers.
Well, close. He knew everything about that document, and it just blows my mind.
We were all sitting there like, what
that
the
that it had been misrepresented for 3 or 4 hours before Chad took the stand.
Yep. I can't say no more. Everybody in the room sat up because he said it with such force and ferocity. He said it in that big "I'm a detective" voice. Let me tell you something. Well, what you're telling me is that this is this, and this is this, and this is this, and I'm looking at the document, and the document was created 4 months later by this person on this date at this time, and that person that created this document has nothing to do.
And is not in the courtroom to authenticate it.
Nope.
In order to get it into evidence.
Nope.
Now, here's a whole nother thing that came out the Jack in the Box today.
Oh, is this the next document?
They completely violated Chad Cockerham's police officer Bill of Rights.
Yep.
They did not let him know that first of all, they interviewed him in January, I think it was January of 2025, for the cheating investigation, and said as a witness, quote unquote. But even as a witness, a police officer Bill of Rights kicks in, and they have the right to have that interview recorded, and they have the right to have the police officer's Bill of Rights read to them.
Yep.
And they have the right to have counsel present. None of that occurred with the January 29th, 2025 phone call.
Now throw this in there. That came from Ken Petro.
Mm-hmm.
From the OIG's office, who stated on the record that he did not have to operate under the NOPD's tutelage, but he was a proxy of NOPD, meaning he was operating on behalf of NOPD, and he has to go by the same standards and rules as NOPD, and he did not.
So then he is the one taking a quote-unquote witness statement of Cockerham on the cheating investigation that he was leading. Then he comes back and interviews Cockerham again. And when he interviews him the second time, this time he sends him the notice, and he sends him the police officer's Bill of Rights, and he tells him he can have an attorney, and they go down there to have the first formal interview. But then they don't give him any of the documents related to the interview so that he and his attorney can meaningfully prepare for the hearing.
Mm-hmm.
So they shut the hearing down when his attorney realizes that she has not been provided with any of the documents, and they're talking about an IP address, and they don't know anything about it. So then when they go back the second time, which I've never heard of a second interview, they gave him a second they gave him a second time to come back because they realized they were wrong by not providing him the documents in the first place. And then the city attorney sends him the documents, and come to find out, the documents are not the right documents. They're different documents.
All right, we got to take a break, y'all. We'll take the break here. We'll come back. 504-582-9422 SS show. That's what it is today. I got a headache. More coming up.
I guess we're on a petty bus, and we stopped at the Civil Service Commission today.
You got the petty bus horn? What a petty bus horn. We'll do it when we come back. News is next, folks.
Oh, there we are. Driving the petty bus at the Civil Service hearing.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Key races remain undecided after primaries in 6 states. In California, Steve Hilton leads the governor's race. Hilton addressed voters.
I can tell you now, we're going to fight for you, we're going to fight for change, and we won't let you down.
Meanwhile, an Iowa upset marked the first loss for a Trump-endorsed candidate. Congressman Randy Feenstra conceded to businessman Zach Lon. A University of Florida presidential candidate is outlining his vision. Stuart Bell said he'll focus on merit, excellence, and free expression while rejecting DEI policies as trustees prepare to vote next week on his nomination. Previously, he was president of the University of Alabama. And A$AP Rocky is finally speaking out after a shooting at his Los Angeles home. He says the March 8th incident shook his sense of peace for his family with Rihanna after Ivana Lisette Ortiz was arrested and charged with attempted murder for allegedly firing shots at the property. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. It is Friday. Ooh, what a day. This has been an interesting day all day.
What a day.
Interesting day all day.
And just so people know, the Police Officers' Bill of Rights governs investigations, interrogations, and disciplinary proceedings that involve police officers as the subject or a witness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
That's important, too.
Yes, very
because
important.
Under that Bill of Rights, I know Ken Petro was also saying that he was not the person that they were looking at as a as the focus
of the cheating allegations.
Of the cheating, but it also stated that
he was a witness.
In that Bill of Rights, he could also be a witness.
Correct. And he still needed to have the protections as a witness, to be read the police officer's Bill of Rights, to have his own attorney present, and to have that first interview recorded, which I don't know if we made it clear. The first interview was not recorded.
Mm-hmm. Yep, was not recorded. All right, let's go to the phone lines here real quick. Nune!
Hey, what's up? How y'all doing?
Oh, man, I need some Tylenol or something.
I got a question for Suzette and you. The Inspector General, I see Ann Kirkpatrick, the police chief, what she do sometimes, PIB and some of them don't investigate the cases, right? And she throw them right to the Inspector General. Is that violating the cops' Bill of Rights?
I'm so happy you asked that question. So, the New Orleans Police Department has an operating and procedures manual. And at page, I'm going to tell you the page in a minute, Noonie. I got the page and I got the paragraph.
Noonie, you should see the book.
Look, I got a whole book, Noonie. If you saw it online, I must have taken 85 pages of notes.
A whole book of notes.
But there is a paragraph, page 16 at paragraph 78 of the NOPD operations manual says that when the investigation is for untruthfulness or dishonesty, it is not to be outsourced outside of PIB.
Right.
Okay, let me say that again because that's important. At page 16, paragraph 78, provision 52.1 of the NOPD operations manual, it says that any investigation of an officer for dishonesty or untruthfulness must not be outsourced.
PIB only.
Okay, PIB only.
All right.
And this was outsourced to the OIG's office, the same OIG who had accused him of lying in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
That's right.
The same one who had done the investigation of the cheating scandal in the first place. So his accuser is now his investigator.
Right. Now, what was also said in that whole issue of cheating was the fact that some of those officers have made it clear that the only investigation that was done in that "Are you cheating?" was somebody picking up the phone from the OIG's office.
That's what I was about to ask next.
Asking them, hey, did you cheat? And they say no. And they hung up the phone.
They didn't record any of these interviews
and they record none of them.
So here's the big question, though. Ann Kirkpatrick sits down in this hearing and testifies under oath.
I'm testifying.
That's right.
That she does not have to follow
No.
the NOPD operations manual.
Yep.
That
There you
she has wide discretion to do whatever she wants as
Yep.
the superintendent.
Yep.
And what she cited to was the case with Vappy and Cantrell, where she testified and said that in the future, if a case involved a high-profile issue or top brass in the administration, it should be outsourced out. That's what she relied upon to say that
That's
she
right.
does not have to follow the rules.
But that's a recommendation. That is not the rule. What she was stating.
That's right.
That is not the
And my-
law. That is not the. She just wrote that and put that as a part of an amendment, what she thinks.
Now let me
That's
add,
right.
let me
No one has
add
agreed
this.
to that.
Let me add this to you. Okay, let me peep this to the game.
Mm-mm.
The recommendation she made in federal court to Judge Susie Morgan under oath that she's relying upon to say that these things should be outsourced was in November of 2023. The NOPD operations manual was revised
Right.
in 2024 and does not include the recommendation that she told Susie Morgan she was going to change the rule to be. So the rule never got changed. There is nothing in the NOPD manual that gives the superintendent the right to ignore
Yep.
the policies and procedures as set forth in the manual. But she
y'all
testified under
supposed to-
oath today. She
Today.
does what she wants.
She wants what she wants to.
And that y'all hit everything I wanted to say. But the other thing is, and not getting off the subject, this is the same Inspector General that's not filing the public request law. I beat him in the lower court. So now he run to the Fourth Circuit, and two great judges, Nikisha and Rachel Johnson, gave him oral argument. Now, Suzette, I want to ask you, these two get off the case, but they didn't tell me why. Now it's two new judges, and they want me to come to oral court about the public request law when it said that I got the right. Can you believe that? Same Inspector General who took Nord Recreation and told them he wanted 4 years of their paperwork. So if the law applied to Nord, the law applied to Suja Water Board and these NOPD officers, he's not above the law. Why haven't he gave me my stuff? And I've been fighting them for a year and a half.
Noonie, after sitting in there today, I have no confidence in the system.
None.
Okay, I'm telling you, this was my very first civil service hearing that I have ever attended.
And one more
after
question
watching
before I
this
let y'all
today-
go.
After watching this
Mhm.
today, the system needs an overhaul.
And I got one more question before I go, but I think you and Gerard covered the anonymous complaints. So you're telling me when police are making anonymous complaints, or say a citizen saying they're a whistleblower and making anonymous complaints, you're telling me the Inspector General and Ann Kirkpatrick with the police is taking people anonymous complaints and trying to track them and all that? That's against the law.
What I heard today from Ann Kirkpatrick's mouth is she never promised anybody to be anonymous.
Right.
But
She did
that-
say
So
that.
to me, I don't think there is such a thing as an anonymous complaint to NOPD.
But that was
So my
that
thing
was
is,
actually
what-
through the IPM though. That if you wanted to make a complaint, it's anonymous and no one should have to know. They
That's what it
actually
said.
went to Stella to get the information, and I just think that she just gave it to him.
Well, Stella don't have no confidentiality or no whistleblower or nothing, because the Inspector General did the same thing to me with Stella, and what he did is she don't have none of that. She don't have none of that. As the police monitor, she really don't have no powers, subpoena, arrest powers. So if anybody go to Stella and they ask for it, she got to give it to them.
After
At the
what
end of the
I
day.
witnessed today, Noonie, I would not trust documents being produced.
That's
I
right.
would not trust evidence being produced. I would not
That's
trust
right.
that it's even authored by the person they said created it. I have no confidence
No, what we saw
in this today, after this today.
They called Stella as a witness today for this hearing, and
Mhm.
certain questions got asked by her, it was so, I think it was so profound to me.
Well, when she asked the question,
that when they asked her
who
the question,
created the document?
she basically
Did you create it? Yeah.
She stopped. She wouldn't say nothing else.
Yeah, she had to think about her answer because I told Jessica, I said, ask her who created the document. Did she create the document? Who in her office created the document? And is this a document kept in the ordinary course of the scope of business for your business? And she ended up having to stop, and then she tried to say, well, Protec is our contractor, and Protec created it, so I guess because they're our contractor, it's our document, but
like you've never
we
seen
didn't
this
create it. Protec created, but her colleague had just testified that they created it, and it was their document in the OIG's office.
Yep.
Man, that really blowing my mind. And now people see when Gerod was on the show and we was talking about the cheating scandal, we was telling them about the anonymous complaint. Now you got the book Suzette, so I hope everybody paying attention to what's really going on. They're about to take a good cop down. They don't have no evidence. They don't have no nothing. Granny pants just sitting up there lying and everything. And the man y'all brought on from Oakland says he lied. So at the end of the day, what are they going to do? They're going to ruin this man's reputation.
And Noonie, the thing about it is she sat there under oath with her righteous indignation and testified that credibility is the most important thing for a police officer, and a police officer who lacks credibility has no place on the force while lying.
That's what I'm saying. So she lied under oath. Under oath. Great. I'm gone, y'all.
That's what blew
I
my
know y'all
mind,
got other
Noonie.
callers.
You saying that Cockerham has no place on the force because he was dishonest. And why do you say he's dishonest? Because somebody told you that the IP address linked to his computer, which we now know it does not. Okay? So
Stephen
you
Wonder
relied
can see
upon
something
that.
wrong with this.
Right, you relied upon that, and you fired this man based on foolishness.
Right.
And then you're going to make a
Foolishness.
self-righteous statement saying that anybody who is a liar shouldn't be here.
But didn't wasn't she in that same position several years ago?
Yes, she was
Yes, she
impeached
was.
in the case in D.C.
Was it D.C. or was it Spokane, Washington?
Spokane, Washington.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm gone, G, because I know y'all got other callers. I'm going to keep listening.
All right.
But anyway, G, give me a call.
Oh, you know it.
I got some birthday plans I need to talk to you
All
about.
right, it's your
All right,
birthday.
all right,
It's
all
your
right,
birthday.
all right.
Galloway.
Oh, what's going on, brother Gerard?
Oh, man, I got a headache. You got some Tylenol?
I got some old English 800.
I
It's
take
better
it.
than Tylenol.
I take it. I need to share
How you
some.
doing, counsel?
I need to share some with my attorney. We need to have a drink.
You're in the council doing God's work. Y'all have broke this thing down. I'm sitting here trying not to laugh out loud. How foolish the OIG office is. Is it any way somebody could take that hearing and take that to the state IG and say, you need to come investigate this
I
one?
ordered the transcripts. I asked the court reporter for the transcript. I'm paying for the transcript. What I do with the transcript is going to be very interesting.
Okay, that's something, because it sounds like a Benny Hill episode up in there. It's just, it's just like they don't know what they're doing and they throw stuff at the wall. They didn't do their homework. Apparently the detective did his homework and some. So how you really gonna fire this man? Because Granny Clampett, for her to talk about being honest, have anybody looked at her resume? Baby, you ain't never been honest. It's embarrassing, but I'm glad it's out there now. So the public can know how crazy those people are down there and how horrible of a job that they're doing and the amount of money that they're being paid to do a horrible job right there.
Galloway,
If you don't know what
I just have to put in context here with what Suzette said. Just think about somebody that has no idea on what metadata is, how to do an investigation, how to follow up with paperwork. You're basically sitting in the blind, letting them tell a court of law that this is what you did, and you have no recourse. And if you don't have recourse, or at least have the wherewithal to say, hey, I didn't do that, and let me prove it to you. These folks have this sitting back, and they're just going by what somebody says with no information.
No real evidence.
None.
No real evidence. And the city is trying to, I got this slick note too today. The city is trying to outsource investigations in order to bypass statutory and constitutional protections owed to police officers.
Where they get that money from? If somebody's going to do an investigation outside of NOPD or outside of the parish, where are they going to get that money from? I know it's not cheap to do this type of investigation. I know it's not. You know, every day they try to find some way to make themselves look dumber than what they are. And today really proved that they are very dumb. But I want to leave y'all with this. Prince Holmes, NOPD facial recognition misidentified that man. This man is a community leader. Does home repair for people that don't have money. They put that man in jail once they realized they made a mistake, took him out of jail, and never apologized. So that facial recognition, which I've been complaining about since J.P. Morrell and them passed that stuff, I told them this was going to happen. Now, you can put a community leader who works with children in jail and won't even apologize. I'm going to hang up and I'll let y'all talk. Thanks for taking my call, Brother Gerod.
All right, Galloway. Well, they're not going to apologize.
They're not going to apologize to Chad Cockerham.
I'd just be the one that had to say that there needs to be a press conference after this is over with, and I would have to require, that you all owe this man an apology, a public apology. You all have dragged him through the media. You have dragged him through pain and suffering through his friends.
You tried to get the DA's office to prosecute him. You tried to get the AG's office to prosecute him. You tried to get
FBI.
The legal group. What's it called? Team of Legal Group to say that he committed payroll fraud. All of those people told you no. So now you're trying to come after him for being dishonest? I don't know that he's the one being dishonest. Somebody's being real dishonest, but it's not Chad Cockerham.
And see, one of the things, too, I wanted to bring this up, too, Suzette, that they were trying to say, well, he was at his location and he was using apps to get on certain things, the evidence.com, and he was getting on this. Do y'all understand that he has more than one agency that's calling him for different information, and he's at home at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning trying to help his fellow police officers as they're in the heat of battle out here working, and he's going on the computer trying to make sure that he can get the information to them, just in the nick of time so they'll know who they're looking for.
Let me tell you, having listened to the intelligence of this officer, NOPD lost a real gem in this one.
Yes.
Okay? The FBI has lost a real gem in this one.
Yes.
I do this for a living. I pay tens of thousands of dollars to expert witnesses. No, to expert witnesses who do not testify as well as Chad Cockerham. That man knows the law, knows the documents, and can explain it very well.
Yep.
He's an expert.
Yep. We need to take the break. All right, let's take the break. We'll take the break here. We'll come back. More telephone calls, 504-582-9422. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. As BET's co-founder, Sheila Johnson has a ton of experience in media, but a lot's changed since she first got the black-focused entertainment cable network off the ground. Johnson spoke to Bloomberg about the state of media and what black audiences might be seeking out now.
I just think that the landscape and the racial landscape of what African Americans are watching is changing. And I just think that we have got such a broad perspective of people out there that want something different, especially this younger generation. So we need to reevaluate what are the goals of black media and what are the answers? What is it out there that we need to answer?
According to Nielsen, just over 50% of black viewers feel there isn't enough content on TV from people of their identity group. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. You can now shop new Catalyst fencing solutions and save big when you do. 10% off when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now just $449. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. The federal government released its May jobs report showing the economy added 172,000 jobs last month, well above the 85,000 economists had forecasted. The national unemployment rate held steady at 4.3%. But for black workers, the picture is more complicated. The black unemployment rate came in at 6.6% in May, compared to 3.8% for white workers. That gap has persisted for decades with no sign of closing. Economists at the National Community Reinvestment Coalition note that a decline in black male labor force participation, meaning some workers have stopped exactly looking for jobs and are no longer counted in unemployment figures. Long-term unemployment, workers jobless for 6 months or more, is up more than 500,000 over the past year, a trend researchers tie in part to ongoing federal workforce reductions that disproportionately affect black workers. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
Norman Robinson is back.
Can you hear me now?
And he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another open enrollment update. Who do I have on the line today?
Hi, you're speaking with Vanessa Scott of BSG of Louisiana.
Can you tell us a little bit about what is open enrollment?
The open enrollment period is for Medicare members that want to change from one plan to another.
Why is open enrollment so important?
Because a lot of people missed out on the annual enrollment period, so they need to have a one-on-one review.
And if you have questions or concerns about your Medicare plans, what should you do?
You just pick up the phone, call 504-621-3687. We even come out to your house. Zero cost to them.
Get with BSG of Louisiana for your Medicare review.
For church groups, senior communities, or disability organizations, call 504-621-3687. We are an independent insurance agency providing information about Medicare-related insurance plans. We are not connected or endorsed by Medicare or the U.S. government.
This is Andronica Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. SS Friday, y'all. SS Friday. That's all I can say. In the building, having conversation. As both of us need some Anacin, Tylenol, Bayer, 800 milligrams of Tylenol, and maybe some crack.
The petty bus been driving all over town.
We've been on the little short bus licking the windows.
And today, that's it. That's the bus. Today, the bus was at the civil
service
hearing for Chad Cockerham.
Oh, my God.
Yesterday, the bus was at Orleans Parish Prison.
Sitting outside in the parking lot.
Talking about the hire of Anthony Bakewell just yesterday.
And he can come back.
And today,
he's been,
he resigned. Now, do you think he resigned?
Because it was
Do
the
you think
little
he
yellow
wanted
bus sitting outside. That's all. Little yellow bus was outside.
Yesterday, we talked about his history at NOPD and how that was a horrible hire by newly sworn in, elected Sheriff Michelle Woodfork, part of her 30 days of catastrophe. And today, he has resigned. But I still got problems because you still have the Brave Cave man over there. Why would you hire the Brave Cave chief to be a second in command at a prison that incarcerates or holds so many black people? Why? Make it make sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's a whole issue. So you got to bring those issues up. I think I said it best. Be careful when you start talking bad about the people that hold the microphone. You got to watch it. That goes to everybody. The third thing that I will put into the conversation, and I'm going back to, I got to go back to this. I'm sorry, I had to bring this up today. With Chad now proving as much as we saw, why are we going back to another hearing? Because of?
So, the judge took a recess, and this was the order he made after the recess, after conversation with counsel. The issue shifted from them arguing that the IP address proved that it came from Chad's computer to the new argument that the IP address proves somebody used a computer in his house to submit the complaint. Chad had already told them
from the beginning
that he never did it. He never submitted the complaint. And then he told them, once he realized the IP address was linked to his house, that somebody used his Wi-Fi, but he didn't know who. And then he investigated into the who after they presented him with the IP address. Well, after he got the IP address and started investigating the who, he found out that his wife did it. So now the judge wants to hear from the wife because the judge said that doesn't look like Chad Cockerham's lying. He told you from the beginning he didn't do it.
And he said that to the representation for the police department.
Right. He said he told you from the beginning he didn't do it. He told you somebody else did. So he was not lying. But let's hear from the person who did it. So we recessed to hear from the person who did it. So she'll come, she'll testify, she'll tell him she did it because she felt it needed to be done. That's one thing. The other thing is if they keep making an issue trying to misrepresent that the IP address is linked to his computer, then I'm going to have to hire a computer expert to come in and let them know that that's ridiculous. An IP address is not linked to a specific computer. Maybe they'll stipulate to that fact so we won't have to hire dueling computer experts to come testify and educate them on an IP address.
I don't think it's dueling. If you hired a expert, who would he or she be dueling with? Because they didn't have an expert.
No, they said that if we get an expert, they're going to get an expert.
Oh, really?
And if they get an expert, we may want an expert. But I think they pretty much conceded by the end of the hearing that they were wrong, that an IP address does not link to an individual computer. It links to a location, a general location at that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we are. Having to come back in July for the wife to testify that she shot JR. And for the computer expert to come say, big dummy,
Well, hold on.
an IP address does not link to a specific computer, you big dummy.
Well, I just want to come back. Just to let you know.
I just felt like he was incredulous.
He was
I just felt he was incredulous.
He was being
I
incredulous.
just felt that, it just seems so incredulous. I don't believe that his wife did it. I don't believe that he didn't do it. I just think it's incredulous. It's incredulous, Gerard. It's incredulous.
I was like, what is wrong with
I
that?
wook up from my nap and I
me tell you
walked
what I
over
said.
here from the
Oh,
police,
let me tell you the
police
funniest part.
department,
Okay,
and
here
I
go the-
just wanted to say, I think it's incredulous.
Here goes the funniest part though. When the attorney for Chad was getting ready to do the cross examination to the police chief, and now look at me because you're gonna have to look at me for this one. And she said, "I'm gonna speak up a little bit so that you can hear me. Can you hear me now?" And she went.
She started off by saying,
I'm going to need everyone to speak up in the room because I'm a little hard of hearing. So I'm going to need everyone to speak up because I'm a little hard of hearing.
What she said? I need you to no, can you hear me?
I just...
And she went, can you hear me, Chief? Give me the bus, boy. Give me the horn. Make it 4 times. Make it 4 times.
Can you get on a loudspeaker, please? Because I'm a little hard of hearing. Can you get on a loudspeaker?
But
Can you
can you
talk
hear
a
me
little
now?
louder, Gerard?
Can you hear me now?
Because I just don't believe this guy.
Yes, I can hear.
They told me it came from his computer. They told me that the IP address is linked to his computer.
Oh, let me do Petro.
And based on it being linked to his computer,
All right, you ready
I terminated his black ass. And now you're trying to tell me that the IP address is not linked to the computer? It links to the house?
Oh, what are you trying to say? I think this is incredulous the entire time.
I think this entire show is incredulous.
This is a show. I'm sitting there saying to myself, I got a headache. How are we going to get past this headache?
I started off my morning trying to explain to the hearing officer that an IP address is not connected to a computer. That's how I started off my morning.
Yeah. And I was sitting back and saying to myself, they ain't getting it. And then Ken Petro didn't get it because he was like, I'm sorry.
It's in the metadata.
It's in the metadata.
I have the
And
metadata.
the metadata, hold on, I got to say metadata at least 10 more times. And the metadata shows me in the metadata. And then
Sir,
she said,
could you please
"It's
interpret
just like
this metadata?"
I don't know anything about metadata. I said, holy crap. I don't know anything. You referenced it at least 10, 15 times.
Look, Sergeant Schultz, I know nothing.
I know nothing.
I know nothing. No, but you just talked for an hour about the metadata, bro.
And you tried to tell everybody.
You convicted this man on the basis of the metadata.
Maybe.
You fired him because of the metadata, and you said you made this pretty spreadsheet with the metadata, and now you didn't make the spreadsheet. You don't know anything about metadata?
Well, I just want to say that I don't have to follow the rules that I wrote.
I don't have to follow the rules. I have wide discretion.
Superintendent.
I have wide discretion.
I have interpreted that I can do whatever
my
I want to do,
discretion
and my
is
discretion
wide.
And
It's wide.
You don't have to follow the law.
I don't have to follow the rules.
What is wrong with you?
I am the police chief.
Wait a minute. What? Oh, Lord. Geraldine.
Y'all killing me. But wait. Live from WBOK in New Orleans is Friday evening live.
Play the music. No, I'm just joking. Yes,
All on the yellow bus.
We about to put a whole bunch of people on the yellow bus. I was just going to have the little yellow bus for a couple of us. But after today, we need a big, long yellow bus. That's a double-decker because we got a whole bunch of people that belong in that yellow bus. I have never been to such an important hearing that is life-changing that actually ended up being, I mean, just it was a circus. Is that I really want to call it something else, but I got to call it a circus. Yeah. So I got a headache. I got a real headache.
And then at one point, the city attorney goes into her backpack to pull out a document that had never been produced.
Never. Live. Let's bring it out.
She was like Dora the Explorer, pulling maps out of her briefcase.
Yep.
Live from WBOK New Orleans. It's Friday evening live.
We had never seen nothing like that ever.
All
right, Miss Geraldine.
All right.
Thank you,
all right.
Marty.
You're welcome.
Bye. What do you say now? Oh, Lord.
Could you have that bus removed from the front of the office, please? It's in the no parking zone.
Excuse me. Could you
move
blow
that
that
bus.
horn?
Could
Blow
you
that
move
horn.
that bus?
Blow
Move that bus from
it.
the front of the NOPD.
Move it.
I have wide discretion.
I couldn't believe she said that.
I have wide discretion.
Say it again.
I have wide discretion. I don't have to follow the New Orleans police officer operating manual.
She did say it. Y'all think she's playing. She did not. She said that on record.
And I said that when we were talking about Cantrell and her naughty boy Vappy.
And she brought me on. Wait a minute. You're talking about the woman that hired you.
I said this to Susie Morgan when we were talking about
we were riding
Cantrell
horses
and
together.
her guy Vappy, that if I didn't want to have the investigation at NOPD because it's a big wig,
Excuse me,
that I
Superintendent.
could send it somewhere else.
Let's ride the horses. Come on. As you're talking.
I'm afraid to get on the horse. I think I might fall.
We ride together.
I'm falling and then I can't get up.
Oh. I'm going home. I am going home. You got the last 20 minutes. Oh, Lord.
In all seriousness, because I need to be
You gotta
serious
laugh.
for
You
a
gotta
minute.
laugh at some of this. You got to laugh
I
at some
think
of this.
we're just punch drunk
Yeah.
from the circus today, but I have to say this. If you have a case against the city of New Orleans,
oh, Lord, y'all need to call her.
Y'all better look under every rock, baby, because they are pulling some stuff over there.
Yeah.
They are pulling some stuff over there.
And this will probably want to be one of the most serious comments that's made today.
I didn't used to do civil service work, but I think I'm going to have to jump in that arena now.
Hell no. No.
Because there's too much injustice going on over there.
No, you beat and shot somebody. No. You beat and shot somebody. So I can't come get you out.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I'm looking at this and just saying to myself, this has got to be one of the most important statements of the day. And that is, if you, by any chance, have something of this sort coming up, and you're thinking that, you're going to be put in a position where you can't defend yourself, really think about who you're getting as a as a attorney that's going to defend you, please look around and don't just take what they give you. Don't, because you're going to end up in jail or losing. This is life-changing for Chad and his family.
No, in all seriousness, it
Yes.
is. This guy's constitutional rights, his police officer bill of rights was violated.
Yep.
I have no doubt in my mind, violated.
Mm-hmm.
They have manufactured evidence against this guy. They have altered evidence against this guy. It's not fair. And at no time did he lie. At no time did he lie.
And messing up his reputation.
Yeah.
Or trying to.
They're trying to.
But what's interesting in this whole case, too, is everybody that knows him is defending him. Seems to be like, oh, they're making this up. This ain't Chad.
This was a procedurally defective investigation searching for a justification to terminate an officer after the original allegations against him regarding payroll fraud failed.
Yep. And let's go back to that, because I think when I say she, I'm talking about Kirkpatrick, shopped this to make sure that she could get somebody to prosecute him.
Absolutely. She tried with the DA's office. They
turned him
refused.
down.
She tried with Tima Law Group. They found nothing to warrant it. She found with the AG's office, and they wouldn't take it. And then she decided to come up with this whole allegation of him being dishonest. But I'm telling you, this was a procedurally defective investigation searching for a justification to terminate a good officer after the original allegations that they tried to bring failed. And that changes the entire posture of this case. The issue now is process, fairness, statutory compliance, and a pretext for terminating this good man. This is huge. I really don't know what to say about this level of injustice that we're seeing. And if you can't trust law enforcement officers to be truthful and honest in the conduct of an administrative hearing, can you trust them to do anything else?
And let's say that this gets into being either put in a position where you're innocent or guilty, and it winds up innocent. How many times are we going to let her continuously do this to these officers? This is not her second time, because we proved about the first one. This should be the third.
This is the third time that we know of so far. We're still digging. So I'm very disappointed in the mayoral administration and the city council for allowing this type of injustice to continue to occur on their watch.
And I hope they are looking at
We have exposed to you, we have proven to you that records, just read the transcript, records were altered, records were created.
Right. That are not
that
true.
This is an injustice.
Yep.
That this man never lied to them. And for you to allow this to go forward like this and expose the city to a lawsuit from it is irresponsible. But then again, the city don't want to pay its judgments no way. So.
What would make you say that, Suzette? Don't get into that today, huh?
Experience.
Yeah, okay. Very good answer, though. Do that. Bring me back. Take me back. Tell them we got to take a break.
We're going to take a break because Granny needs to go potty. So we're going to take a little break right now, Gerod. And I just think that moving forward would be rather incredulous. We're going to take a break. And we'll be right back.
Go to break, bro. Go to break.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. The House of Representatives passed a resolution Wednesday that would restrict President Trump's ability to wage war against Iran without additional congressional approval. Now, the vote was 215 to 208, marking the first time passage of a measure since fighting began over 3 months ago. 4 Republicans joined all Democrats in supporting the measure: Tom Baird of Michigan, Warren Davidson of Ohio, Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania, and Thomas Massey of Kentucky. The resolution signals a growing Republican frustration with a conflict that has dragged past the constitutional 90-day limit for presidential military action without legislative authorization. Constituents worried about the economic fallout from the war appear to be pushing some GOP lawmakers to break with the administration. However, the battle isn't over. The Senate would still need to approve an identical resolution. Legal scholars also disagree on whether the measure would actually bind the president to comply. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
This is Monica Pierre along with Sally Ann Roberts Daybone, co-host of Your Power is On.
Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for music that feeds the spirit. Get your Sunday on.
Right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. and WBOK1230.com, the station you listen to all day long.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Join the Good Morning Show this Friday at 8 a.m. to hear from our friends at New Orleans & Company, the official destination sales and marketing organization for New Orleans. Learn more at www.neworleans.com.
From Gentilly to New Orleans East, WBOK is what New Orleans is talking about. WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Final few minutes here.
We had a question about other news agencies that were there today. There was a reporter there from what station?
ABC 26.
From ABC 26.
Ashley!
And there was the Empower Unola guy there, but they left before Chad Cockerham testified, and a lot of these things were exposed. So we do hope that they listen to our show today so they can know what really happened after they left, because they only got one side of the coin, one side of the story. They were only there for the presentation of Ken Petro, and they might have been there for Stella. I don't think they were there for the superintendent, and I don't think they were there for Chad Cockerham. So I hope they do listen to the entirety of our show and to get the other perspective of what happened. And as I stated, I bought the transcript. I'd be happy to send it to you.
Mm-hmm. Tanisha was there too, so thank you, Tanisha, for coming out. Former police justice person for the city of New Orleans. Mm-hmm. She was there too, so I gotta say thank you to Tanisha. This information today, unless you were there to hear both sides of that story, it was important to hear both sides of the story. And that last hearing, they did not let Chad's attorney speak. But today it was her who was doing all the questioning.
And I got to say, Jessica Vasquez did an excellent job today.
Yes.
She's newly retained on the case, had to get up to speed very quickly, and I thought she did a pretty good job today.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. I would agree. Anybody that's under that much scrutiny and that much, I don't know what else to call it. What else can we call it? Being incredulous?
Restraint. Constraints to present her case.
Mm-hmm. That she did a good job.
Right.
That she presented
what's
was a good
next?
job.
In July will be the other part of this hearing, the last part of this hearing. There will be a ruling by Jay Ginsburg, a recommendation by Jay Ginsburg that the commissioners will either accept or reject. And after that, I'm certain will be an appeal to the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeal by one or both parties.
What do you think? What's going to be the outcome?
I'm not gonna second guess it because I'm not putting my thumb on the scale. I want Jay Ginsburg to reach his opinion, and I want the commissioners to be able to rule, and then we'll take it from there.
All right, let's take Major Tracy Riley. What you say?
Man, you two are something else this week. I just wanted to call to say thank you for your public service this week. Thank you for this outstanding report. I needed that laugh. I appreciate you so much. And if the public is allowed to attend that hearing in July, I, for one, am going to be there if they'll let me get in there.
Well, the public could have came today. I think we did say it yesterday, too, as well.
You did.
You
did, and I couldn't make it today.
The public was invited to come in today. So several folks that we just called out came in and sat down for a few. They didn't stay for the whole hearing.
But, gee, the wife did it?
So so apparently after the first hearing, when they first presented him with the IP address evidence and said, "This is from your IP address," well, he was shocked. So he went back and he polled his family, his friends, other officers who had been to the house and asked them, did anybody file this report? I mean, this complaint from my house, because they have my IP address and I didn't do it. And the wife said she did it. And when they asked Chair Cockerham today, why did she say she did it? His response was because she said it needed to be done. Now,
I respect that.
I respect that, and it was supposed to be an anonymous complaint.
And then think about something too, Major Riley, that I think the questioning to Chad about his wife filing the report, I think it was to get a rise out of him, the way that it was verbiage.
It was phrased in a inartful way. The question that the city attorney asked him is, Does your wife hang out with other NOPD officers when you're not around?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. We need to keep peeling back the layers of this to expose the underbelly of what's really going on in our city by our public officials. It's time for truth to be exposed. And I'm just so happy to learn all of these revelations. And yes, it's funny as hell. You two have a way of doing what you do. But thank you for this. I salute you for bearing the truth so that we can understand what's really going on out here.
Yep.
And hopefully make things better as we discover it and have the courage to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well, it was eye-opening for me today, Tracy, and I'm a member of the legal profession. And it was eye-opening for me today to see all of this going on.
Yeah, I got a headache.
It was something.
I got a headache. Major Riley, thank you, my dear. Are y'all still out there with the you still out there this weekend or still doing something with the recall?
Yes. It's they're up to 100 volunteers across the state in 34 parishes of the 64 parishes, and that's just in 34 days or 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow we're going to be at a skate park. Ask everyone to go to LouisianaDeservesBetter.com for the actual locations in their community. And they've been collecting thousands, too many to count right now, but they should be putting out a report in the latter part of June about where their numbers actually are sitting.
Okay.
Well, thank y'all for what you're doing. What you're doing is very important.
Appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The soldier never quits.
Take care. All right.
All right.
All right. The other thing, too, I want to tell everybody, too, that they need to come out on the West Bank on tomorrow because the guest speaker over at Fisher Community Baptist Church at 12 noon will be the lady that talks like... I'm sorry, no. Suzette Bagnaris will be the guest speaker over at Community Baptist Church, Fisher Community Baptist Church, tomorrow at 12 noon, so everybody can come. All right, let's go to Alvin.
Well, there, G and the turn, how y'all doing on this lovely Petty Bus Friday?
Yes, indeed. At least you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've been on the Petty Bus
all week.
Yeah, all week. Don't trust me. I know. I've been listening. I just ain't been calling. I've just been listening, trying to just get through these different phases and understand where we're going, where we at, why we're here, and how do we get here, and so on and so forth. But as we close the show, you know what this also makes me, and I always been wanting to call in, even when we were talking about the so-called investigative teacher with his investigative reporting, with these reports and all this, that, and the other. So now a whole nother can of worms have just been opened up, because if it's this easy to go in and change information, well, how we know that some of those payroll information ain't been changed to set somebody else up?
That is a good quote.
Look, I don't trust it anymore. When I tell you the amount of documents that came out today that are questionable, puts it all in question for me.
And then here's the other thing, attorney, which is why I gave my sister your number and a couple other people to call them about some employment cases. So yeah, we're gonna do our part to keep you in business. But I digress. The other thing is this though, because I've always wondered and always thought of, okay, so if the officers checked in at home, who's to say they're not doing officer work at home before they leave to get out on the clock? And if you didn't, and here's the other thing even about that. So if you're saying that they shouldn't clock in when they leave the house, well, I tell you what, from now on, when people on the causeway as they going home on the North Shore passing up at 100 miles an hour, now I understand why they don't pull people over now.
We don't know. I don't have the answer
Just,
to that one.
I'm just saying, that could be just a service. You know what I mean? Since you won't complain about them being on the clock off and not on their way home and from home.
We are
because
in
I thought
trouble.
police were 24 hours.
We are in trouble in this city.
Big trouble.
With all the things we have uncovered this week, just this week,
and including the rest of
we are in trouble. And when the people who are placed into positions of extreme power, are not being honest and truthful and genuine in their dealings with the public, we're all at risk.
But Alvin, one of the problems I have with what Suzette just said was they're not being truthful. They're lying. They're perjuring themselves. But after that's all discovered, they don't get
nothing
in trouble.
happens.
No, they don't get in trouble. But they
Nothing
blaming. They are penalizing and targeting these black men and black women in this city.
And now we're starting to understand even further now why we having trouble recruiting, why we having trouble retaining, why we having trouble with officers getting trained and moving. Now it's just like they don't even get that y'all are really uncovering stuff that here we've been talking about over the years at WBOK, but y'all won't call us as the other so-called expert gets on and lies and call itself Eric and whoever else gets on and spew that BS out here. Now we seeing that what we've been saying ain't really been off character, ain't been off subject. Because here's the last thing before we go. The majority of the city council that's presently, and including the mayor, has been complicit in this all this time because y'all were on the previous administration when she got hired.
Yep. All right, Alvin.
And now we know the shadow government is for real for y'all who call us crazy.
And
y'all
I'm going to tell y'all,
weekend.
watch Hano too, because the things we're uncovering in reviewing these documents in this Gus case, watch Hano too. That's all I got to tell y'all. Watch the news, watch Hano too. Watch the document I'm filing this week. That's going to drop a ton of evidence on y'all against Hano. You wait.
So look,
this coming week, a bomb will drop.
And I got the big bus. I got the big bus, G, the one with the air conditioning.
Goodbye, later. Boy. I'll talk to you later. Let's go.
Everybody will drive the petty bus.
Everybody drive the petty bus. Yeah. All right, folks. Sorry we didn't get to everybody, but we got to get out of here. My head hurt. My head is hurt. We will see you on Monday.
I'm going to rub my feet together.
Guess what we're going to do on Monday? We're going to play the new song Monday.
Oh, we're going to play the new song on Monday. I'm excited.
Monday. You hear Monday, right? You hear Monday, right? You're not here Monday? Where you at?
Okay. I'm excited.
Man.
We're playing the new song.
Play the new song on
Okay,
Monday.
well, look out Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to drop some papers over there in federal court. Little love note.
Mm-hmm. Is it going to be from that person over there? Over? No?
No. I'm going to leave her home. I'm going to leave her home on Monday.
Oh, Lord Jesus, I ain't never heard that person before.
Well, goodbye. Y'all have a nice weekend from Granny.
Goodbye. Just goodbye.